The Northern Territory really is the gateway to Australia's iconic outback. From the vast landscapes rich with wildlife to the world's oldest living culture, it's the true Australia. This video will show you some of the top things to do whilst in the top end, including a visit to Kakadu, Arnhem Land and Katherine. The place to start your trip though is the tropical harbour city of Darwin. These are the Mindil Beach Sunset Markets. If you come to Darwin, a trip here is an absolute must. The smells and the sounds are fantastic and the views are pretty good as well.
We've got over 200 stalls, so 150 of those are arts and crafts and services, so that you can get a massage, tarot read, you can buy crocodile products, you can buy dresses, summer fashion, jewellery, art, you name it, it's here.
And it's not just about the shopping and eating. There's plenty of entertaining sights and sounds, as well as the opportunity to try your hand at something authentically Australian. How long do you reckon does it take to actually master the art?
To be an A-grade whip cracker, you're looking at a couple of years, but Ben, I reckon we should be able to teach you tonight, mate.
Is that a promise?
That's a promise. Down. Keep going, mate.
Well, perhaps the cowboy lifestyle isn't for me after all. So it's just as well that there are plenty of other things to do in Darwin.
I believe Darwin has more heritage and culture than any other city in Australia. There's some great architecture dating back 130 years, beautiful sandstone buildings, an old theatre. We also have your churches, of course. Government House, where the Queen's representative is in residence. You've also got the Indigenous culture, which goes back 50, 60,000 years. It is the world's oldest continuing culture, and their art tradition is the world's oldest continual art tradition.
And that art tradition is still very much alive in Darwin at the Museum and Art Gallery of the Northern Territory.
We have a lot of contemporary canvases, a lot of photographic work, a lot of audio-visual, a lot of installation work, and of course this is what Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people are doing today. I'd really encourage people to come and have a look at Indigenous art here in Australia. It's an opportunity for you to see not only the very best of visual art practice here in Australia, but to get a glimpse of the history, the long history of Indigenous culture.
But the art in the Northern Territory is not just found on gallery walls. Around a 2 hours drive from the city takes you to the World Heritage listed Kakadu National Park, where the stunning rock formations have provided a canvas for generations of Aboriginal artists. This is amazing. We've got a whole gallery of rock art here. Where are we, Brian?
We're at the main gallery at Ulbia Rock Art Sites, and if you look up there you can see a whole range of rock art from the X-ray style paintings, which Kakadu is famous for, right through to the early Mimi style paintings, which is also up there as well.
And there is an awful lot of rock art all around this area.
That's absolutely right.
Let's go check out some more.
Let's go.
Kakadu National Park is an outback paradise. Everywhere you go there are fantastic views and wonderful wildlife. In fact, sometimes it feels like you're driving through a movie set, but you don't always have to stick to the road. Yes, one of the most sought-after experiences for any visitor to the Northern Territory is a scenic helicopter flight. When you're looking down at the ground here from the helicopter, it's amazing to think that you're looking at places where no other human being has probably ever been. It really is the wild Australian outback out here.
The great thing to do is get in a helicopter, and it gives you a real understanding of the expanse of Kakadu National Park, the waterfalls, the billabongs, the stone country, absolutely stunning scenery.
The rocks you can see would have, at one time, 1.6 billion years ago, have been the seabed. The sort of structure you get here is where the sand, the sediment, things like that would have just, over the years, settled on there, formed new layers of seabed, which would have turned into rock. And as the water levels decline, of course, they start to poke out and form what we've got here today. Well, that is absolutely amazing. Of course, the views are fantastic. You'd expect that, but it's the sense of adventure that gives it the extra buzz. If you come here, you've got to give it a go. The Northern Territory is an ideal destination to travel around at your own pace. However, you can also join a guided tour or have a personal guide who are also on hand to help some of us less experienced fishermen.
So what we're doing is we're just putting it on the edge, we're giving it a little tease. Barramundi is an icon fish in Australia. It's a fish that's not one of those easy fish to catch. We spend a lot of time trying to teach people different techniques of how to catch these guys, and as well as providing experience of these magic wetlands that always something different happening around the clock. I think I know what it is already. It's a catfish.
Oh!
So wind your rod tip down towards the fish.
God, look at that!
You don't need to wind anymore, mate.
Gee, that's definitely a fish.
Yeah, not the one of the predatory fish that we're after.
I don't really care, to be honest. That is the biggest fish I've ever caught, which isn't particularly saying much, but it's definitely the biggest fish I've ever caught.
Kakadu is an area that's got so many different opportunities. There's so many vast differences around the area. You can drive into Kakadu and think there's nothing to it. You must get off the beaten track to see wonderful areas like these wetlands and beautiful escarpment country, as well as other areas that are culturally significant to the traditional people that were born here. This is the little comb-crested jacana, one of my little favourites. Runs around on the lilies, often referred to as the Jesus bird. Looks like he's walking on water. And this is the male. The female's got a really bright red comb up on top of her head. Female's quite a bit of a character. She'll invite the male to sit on the nest, and as soon as he does, that's it. She's gone. Get plenty of ladies on the boat that reckon that's a great idea.
The Northern Territory is home to at least 280 bird species, some of which are found nowhere else in the world. From hooded parrots and honeyeaters to black currawongs and brolgas, the top end is a birdwatcher's paradise.
We're at Mamakala wetlands. This is a favourite area for these so-called twitchers that come from all over the world to see some of the great varied bird life that you can see in the top end. As you can see up there, there's thousands and thousands of magpie geese and all manner of other types of waterfowl.
You can trek through the stunning Northern Territory landscape to spot some of these rare birds, or take a leisurely cruise through many of the wetlands teeming with bird life, or gorges like this, the spectacular Catherine Gorge, just 3 hours drive south of Darwin, which offers many activities from canoeing and bushwalking to four-wheel drive adventures.
The stunning views that you find out here, you don't really notice it until you get out here, because you're driving along flat, arid road, and then all of a sudden you reach the gorge. You've got towering cliffs, good 80 metres high. You can see the colours in them. It's very pretty, and each gorge itself is totally different. You get quite a different variety of reactions from the people. Not only are they amazed by how pretty it is, but also the information that they learn within a tour about the traditional people of the area.
Well, the gorge has provided people with food for generations, and it's still giving you a pretty good dinner today.
So from the free roaming wildlife and dramatic landscapes to the ancient history and cultural significance of this vast unspoilt land, a trip to the Northern Territory is a chance to visit the true Australia.